That's a good start.
It is a good one, that's the one we want.
Over the last 3 weeks I've played some of the best golf courses in the world, and this just about sums up my putting. Hey. That's right, I've been putting like an absolute... So I thought, I've got two options. I can either keep swapping putters, keep changing and find something with a decent honeymoon period, or I can seek help from a European Tour putting coach and solve the problem once and for all. Let's do it, and let's do it now.
It's something that sneaks up on you, especially through the winter when you're playing on greens that have been holotine, cord, you know, you play on those for 6 months now. Unless you're like James and go on a holiday every other week.
Work, it's work.
It's work, that's what he likes to keep saying.
Just a little side note guys, if your putting coach won't lay on the floor in the middle of, what month are we in? April.
April, middle of summer.
Then what is he even doing? So guys, I'm here, today we're at Wortley Golf Club and I'm with Chris Dennis. You may recognise Chris from some of my videos. Chris caddies on the European Tour for Jigger Thompson and also teaches him putting. So, are you going to sort me out, what?
Well, we're going to give it a go. I've known James for years now and obviously we've played quite a few times. But yeah, I've worked with a few players on the men's and ladies tour. I've worked with quite a few college people, so hopefully James, as your average professional, we can give him a few tips today and get him going.
Things can only get better.
Things can only get better. Although, if you did watch the video from, was it 100 foot?
Yes.
Yeah, it only took him 1 million attempts, you
347 attempts for 100 feet.
347, yeah. So we're going to try and get that down to 346 attempts, and then the dream's alive.
Okay. Where should we start?
So we'll start today. We're going to get, first of all, we're going to get his ball roll. So the performance, we're going to see what kind of spin he may put on. You know, when you're playing full swing, you may see your ball slice to the right, you may see it hook to the left. You know, that can also happen. I see the both ways, you'll have seen on videos. But again, same with putting, we can see that the ball may have a little bit of cut spin, it may have a little bit of hook spin, and that's going to make it really hard when you get onto any kind of fast greens in the summer.
Really interesting you say that, because last week Harbour Town, Lake Nona, Hilton Head, loads of fantastic courses, fantastic greens. Oh, struggle with speed, struggle with distance, and from there struggle. I actually felt like I was maybe opening the face a little bit, which I've never felt like I'd done.
Yeah, so it's something that sneaks up on you, especially through the winter when you're playing on greens that have been holotine, cord, you know, you play on those for 6 months now. Unless you're like James and go on a holiday every other week.
Work, it's work.
It's work, that's what he likes to keep saying. Then you will have been playing on winter greens. So just getting a check-up and seeing what you're doing can help you going into the season.
Okay, right, let's do it.
And let's do it now.
That's a good start.
It is a good one, that's the one we want.
Just a little side note guys, if your putting coach won't lay on the floor in the middle of, what month are we in? April.
April, middle of summer.
Just a little side note guys, if your putting coach won't lie on the floor for you at the beginning of April, then what is he even doing? What we're saying, coach?
Exactly. Beautiful day here in South Yorkshire.
Got one.
Dreams alive.
What?
So all I want to be able to see is that when
got a dog bag.
No, not playing.
Pick up my putting stroke.
Not playing. Guys, so we can see at setup that the shaft is, the ball's pretty far forwards and the shaft is leaning backwards at setup. So as you saw from the ball performance videos, we saw that there was a little bit of loft on the putt when it left the face, so it was jumping first and then went into a roll. Ideally what we want is to get the ball rolling as quick as possible.
So the ball's like skidding over the first few inches?
So it'll skid over the first few inches and then go straight into a pure roll. So again, then it makes it a lot easier to control your distance. Again, from this setup we see that as you come back, we're going to see that head stays pretty centered, so there's no movement back. Putter reaches just inside of your right foot. Again, it is an 8-foot putt, so that would be reasonable for that distance. Okay, but again, as we come into impact, we can see we're adding loft onto the putter, so again, that's the cause of it jumping off the face.
Right.
You'll also see with your head that we have seen you move slightly backwards, which again is going to encourage us hitting up onto the ball.
Basically giving it the old heave ho, aren't I?
That's it, we're just trying to get it up into the air like a flop shot off the back foot. Okay, so if we then have a quick look from down the line, so angles are pretty good, but what I'd like to see better is that the arms match the shaft. Okay, if we can get the arms to match the shaft, then we can get the again, if you'll see from the face on ball performance from behind the hole, you would see how the putter wants to do a bit of a figure of 8 around the houses to get back to the ball. If we can get the arms to match better, we can keep the putter on a bit more consistent plane. Okay, so as we come back, then has the re-route just as you come back down to hit the ball.
Yeah.
Although it did go in, so the dream is alive there. Must have bobbled. Okay, so we're just going to do a few things now to help with the setup, and then what we're going to do is refilm and then compare these videos.
Let's do it.
And let's do it now. So if you take your setup, you'll start to see how that your arms will now sit on there, and you'll not feel any pressure of the T-bar pushing down on your arms.
As opposed to there?
Yeah. Right, so you get your hands a little bit higher. From there, set it on face on, I want to move the ball position slightly back and put a little bit more weight onto your left side. Good, and then from there, take it away.
Good. Can I play with this?
So we've set up here, again, as you will all know, James is also an aim point instructor. So we have set up here on a 3% slope, left to right. Okay,
you nasty man.
Not the nicest on the Holotine greens, but we'll give it a go. You'll also see that we've set up 2 tees around about a foot in front of the ball. That is again to see the start line of the ball. If we're starting the ball where we want it to go, as then with the stroke now, we should be able to see it rolls through there, hopefully in. So he's going to do his setup as normal, so he's going to make sure there's not too much pressure on the arms. Ball position slightly back and weight on the left. Probably should move those tees a bit further back. Weight on there.
Pace, isn't it? That?
Yeah. Started on line well. Rolled well. Just didn't have the pace. Pulled out the injury. This is the first guy who's got injured on a putting lesson. Cramps kicked in. Calls himself an athlete. Debatable.
Hold that.
Right, the tee.
No?
Straight through.
Straight through? Did it hit the tee? Good putts, to be fair.
Very good putts. So again here we've got a right to left putt. This is a 2% slope. So now we're going to see how it feels with the new setup, if it's any different. Support position. Good. Naturally. One other thing we want to work on with James is using the T-bar now to help his arms match the shaft a little bit better. Is move the ball position slightly back to get the shaft not leaning backwards at setup. Okay, but what we also want to work on, and you'll see from the video, is we saw that when he took the putter back, it'd reach the inside of his right foot, but you'll see on the way through, it accelerates and it doubles in distance on the way through. Okay, so it's more of a hit than a stroke with the putter. So we want to work on making sure that we can get it more of a stroke as opposed to hitting the ball. Tell you what, we're on fire over there. I found my game. Okay, so
what game's that?
Oh, dangerous. Okay, so again, regarding getting more of a swing to James's putt as opposed to a hit, if you think about a golf club, if we swing it back, okay, it's never nearly got him. It's never going to go as far.
With my follow through, that'd knock my teeth out, wouldn't it?
With James's, we'd have lost his head. The YouTube sensation would have been gone and lost forever. There we go. James is now taller because he's on the other side. So as you'll see, if we can get now a better swing to the putter, as it goes through, it will be shorter, okay? As opposed to James goes short back and long through, we're going to try now get it longer back, shorter through. So we're going to take the tee bar off now, and what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the straight putt and get him now hitting putts just with his right hand, just to get a feel of the swing of the putter. Thank you, Shen. Let's roll.
Do it.
Going to still be trying to get the ball position a little bit back, his hands a little bit higher, and his weight on the left. But then from there, we're going to take the left hand off.
Is it weight left, or am I leaning back? Is it weight even, realistically?
We'd like to see the weight slightly favouring the left. So we'd have it at the moment. It was set up where he would be pretty even at the start, but then from there he would fall back as he's hitting a putt. So if we can encourage the weight to be slightly favouring the left, it's going to help him throughout the stroke. So we're going to take the left hand off now, and he's only going to use his right hand. What to do with it? Okay. So again, we can see that he's still accelerated through. So we want to encourage him a little bit further back, and I want him to feel like his putter's going to stop with inside his left foot. Better, okay. Was there any difference in the strike there?
The strike felt a lot better actually.
Strike was a little bit more centered there, so he's going to do the same again. Feel like it finishes short. Pretty good. Okay. So that's going to give him a feel now of how he can get the putter to swing to do the work, as opposed to hitting a cover drive.
Oh. This could work.
Could work.
This could work.
You might beat me.
Where were you at Lake Nona?
Didn't get the invite to Lake Nona, ladies and folks. I was here playing Royal Wortley.
Can't miss.
Golly. Oh, enough.
No?
Straight in. As you'll see from face on, you can already see it set up how the putter is now much more centered. So the before was on the left where we can't see the ball, hands are behind the ball. You can now see on the right, the after shot, that the putter is now much more centered at your belt buckle or belly button, and you can also see the reference of the ball. So the ball's now further back, and now that's a lot more neutral. Okay, if we now go through the stroke, you'll already see there, you know, we're at the back of the backswing on the left, probably on the inside right of your foot, whereas already on the right, the after one, we're now a lot longer backswing. Okay, so now we're getting a lot more swing to the putter as opposed to a hit. You'll also see that your head is more centered. It's slightly tilting, okay, but it's a lot more now central and a lot more under control. So we should improve the strike pattern as we come down. You'll see now a lot more neutral. So when you get back to the ball on the right, you'll see that we are now very square. We may have even taken a little bit of loft off.
Yeah.
We're very close. Whereas on the left,
yeah,
we're adding the loft. Okay, hands behind the ball.
And isn't that funny how, I mean, I teach putting, believe it or not, looking at that, but it's something where, and this is where if people are thinking, you're a coach, you're a pro, why are you going for a lesson? I think it's so important that everyone goes for a lesson. I watch my putting stroke all the time, and I look at it when I'm editing and I think, oh God. And this is exactly why, isn't it? Now if I can practice this.
Again, how many people go for putting lessons, or do you normally go for a full swing lesson?
In actual fact, guys, smash that comment section below who here has been for a specialist putting lesson. I know I have now.
So again, if we still continue to look, you'll see your head again is much more centered. There's no falling back, and the putter, you can see already on the way through, is a lot shorter at finish in comparison to what it was before. So now it's more of a stroke. Strike should improve, which we saw that it did, and again will be a lot more consistent. So James will no longer be losing at Lake Nona when he shoots level par with 6 birdies and still gets beaten.
Cheers for that, Chris.
No worries, keep up the good work.
It's been a long time coming, I think.
Yeah.
But it's the first putting lesson I've had in years, and to be honest, there's a few bits in there which I've not heard before. There's a few bits in there which aren't particularly new to me.
Yep.
But I think even if you feel like you know what you need to do, it's so important. You go for advice, you go for help, and then from there you take the advice and you practice it. The one thing I know that I'm going to need to practice with this is different distance putts.
Yeah.
So I know I'm going to be all right on the 6 footers because 8 footers, that's what we've done.
Yeah.
But I know that the longer stroke on a 20 footer or 40 footer is going to be a lot harder for me to do than an 8 footer. So that's why I need to go away and work on. But Chris, thank you so much for your time.
No worries,
really
anytime.
Appreciate it. Guys, if you want to know more about Chris, you'll catch him in like the Early Learning Centre or something. If you want to know more about Chris, Chris is going to help me with some coaching trips this year and some online content. So if you want to get to know Chris, what's your Twitter?
Very good question.
Is it Chris Arsenal FC?
It was the mighty Arsenal FC, but they're no longer any good. It's Chris Dennis PGA.
So I will link that below if you want to catch Chris, catch him on Twitter. And apart from that, guys, I'm going to go and practice my putting, and I'll see you tomorrow.